What's up, race fans? My name's Owen, and welcome back to the Ben Fender podcast. And in this one, I will be reviewing the Italian Grand Prix. So, first off, before the start of the race, there were a bunch of grid penalties. So all the drivers that got grid penalties were Yuki Tsunoda, Lewis Hamilton, Carlos Sainz, Mick Schumacher, Kevin Magnussen, Valtteri Bottas, Esteban Ocon, and Checo Perez. And also Verstappen got a 5-place grid penalty. So that was 9 out of the 20 drivers getting penalties. So that's a lot. Also, Alex Albon is out of this race because he was sick, and filling in for him was Nick De Vries, who was starting in his first F1 race. He was coming from Formula E, and he was in a Williams. They were in Williams for Albon, of course. And Ferrari had a special yellow scheme going on this weekend because this is their 75th anniversary. So the pit crew was wearing yellow suits. Same with the drivers, they were wearing yellow fire suits. They had yellow on their cars. A lot of yellow going on. And also, before I start the review, rest in peace to Queen Elizabeth II. And with that being said, on to the race. So, Charles Leclerc and George Russell started on the front row. Leclerc led the first lap. A couple drivers went 3 wide into the first chicane, which normally doesn't end well, but nothing really big happened, which is surprising. A couple laps later, Perez pits. And then after he came out of the pits, his car started to smoke, which was his right front tire had a fire caught in it. I think while they were changing the tires, a piece of debris got caught in between the tires, and it got caught up in smoke. Not a lot happening, but a lot of good racing. And later on, Carlos Sainz was up 13 places from the start. Sainz was having an amazing race. Then a little bit later, Sebastian Vettel loses power, and it brings out the first virtual safety car, and Vettel is out of the race. While this happens, Verstappen took the lead when Leclerc pit. Then a little while later, Magnussen actually got a 5-second time penalty for an incident on the first lap where he got bumped off track and gained an advantage. So he got a 5-second time penalty for that. Then green flag pit stop start. And then De Vries got a black and white flag for track limits, which is a warning flag. Then Leclerc takes the lead when Verstappen pit. Then Alonso retired from the race with a electrical problem. Then Verstappen took the lead when Leclerc pit. Then Lance Stroll retired from the race. I'm assuming it was also an engine problem. Then a couple laps before the end, Daniel Ricciardo had an engine failure, which brought out the first safety car, and Ricciardo is out of the race. And under this safety car, we actually finished the race. So the top 10 were Verstappen, who won, which I just give him the trophy right now, honestly. Like, you're not touching him. Like, they have to put something in his car that makes him go like 10 miles an hour faster than everyone else. Like, it's absolutely insane. So, the top 10 were Verstappen, Leclerc, Russell, Sainz, Hamilton, Perez, who got an extra point for the fastest lap, Lando Norris, Gasly, De Vries, and Zhou Guan Yu. And De Vries actually won Driver of the Day in his first ever F1 race. And De Vries was, I think they said, the 67th? Or they said some out, like, they said some mind-blowing number. It was like drivers that have finished in the points in their first F1 race. It was like in the 70s or something. I forget. One thing I want to add, I feel like as they were saying at the end of the race, the race should have gone back green. So I say if the race is going to end under safety car, I would say add 2 more laps. So then they can actually race under, like, finish the race under green. And have a 2-lap shootout, which would make the race would have given a better finish than finishing the race under a safety car. But that's just my thoughts. So join me in a couple of weeks when I review the Singapore Grand Prix. Please remember to like this video and subscribe, as well as go check out my other channels, one being my main of Fan Rantan, one being a D&D channel where me and my friends play D&D. That one's called Drunkards and Dumbasses. You can also find the channel under the Boundless Shores. So, we will see you in the next one. Peace.